Yeah, in terms of just stocks, I was just gonna be the guys who were around 3 stocks last season, and
What are
Anthony
you
Davis.
working at Pierre Point Co. right now? What's going
Oh
on, man?
man, Harper Stern calling in.
Holy, this guy is shorting Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I'm treating you like Jesse Bloom right now. I'm trying to
Oh
get you to
my
buy.
god,
I'm trying
man.
to get you to tamper. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, William Liu. I'm joined by co-host Alex Wong. This is the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. Make sure to follow Hello and Welcome wherever you listen to podcasts at Hello Welcome Pod. Joining us this week is a very special guest, somebody who I know Alex has caught up with recently. That's why I'm going to turn the hosting duties over to Alex as we share with you some season award predictions. Alex, go ahead, man.
Yeah, we are joined today by a friend of the program and James Herbert of CBS Sports, live from Brooklyn. Had a chance to visit New York recently and saw James 3 times in 2 days. James, how are you doing? Thanks for taking me to the bagel shop, coming to lunch with me at Thai Diner, going to dinner with Michael Pina, and then grabbing pizza at Finney Pizza at Barclays Center. Finney Pizza, by the way, if you guys listen to Bill Simmons, apparently I name drop Bill Simmons every pod now.
Yeah.
Bill Simmons' 3-part over-under pod, he actually shouted out Finney Pizza, so it made me feel really cool. Thanks for bringing me there, James.
Yeah, of course. I think it's Feeny Pizza. But
Oh,
either
wow.
way,
Alex mispronounces something. Wow, shocker. Bingo. Yeah.
either way, it was an excellent slice.
Yeah,
Kind of
it
a
was
dessert
excellent.
slice.
It was
in
excellent
that
company,
day.
my brother. Yeah.
It does concern me just slightly that Alex is this deep into the Bill Simmons world.
What
Just
do you
for
mean,
the
man?
record.
As a basketball fan, should we not all be listening to other shows
Yes,
and things like that, guys?
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah, check out the Raptor show on Sportsnet. Check out Raptors Republic. Check out all the great, beautiful basketball coverage that's out there, man.
Locked on Raptors with Sean Woodley, baby. Let's go.
Locked on, and we are locked on today because the NBA season is starting tomorrow on Tuesday. The Celtics are gonna raise their, I don't know, what's their banner? This is their 19th banner.
Yeah.
This is one of their many banners, and they're gonna play the New York Knicks.
Yeah,
And
producer
then-
Alex, we are also releasing this on Wednesday, so they've already done this.
I thought this was on Monday. Oh yeah, this is on Wednesday. Never mind. Celtics beat the Knicks by 55. Mikal Bridges 0 for 23. Weird hitch in that jumper. Braun and Bronny start the game together in LA and barely beat the Wolves by 2. And we're here to make our NBA award predictions. So how it's gonna work is I have abstained from picking these, and
What?
I'm going to hear the two of you out about these awards, and then we're gonna do who he play for at the end. Apparently, James and Will have combined to pick 100 players, so we're gonna try to hit the Wilt Chamberlain today.
We're about to conduct a census of the NBA right now.
Yeah, so I don't think we want to start with the Twyman-Stokes Teammate of the Year award, even though that'd be hilarious. Let's start, guys, with the Most Valuable Player award, and we'll start with you, James. Who is your MVP pick for this season?
I picked Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm not pandering to the Canadian audience here. I just really think the Thunder are going to have an incredible season. And I mean, Shai was super close to winning it last year. I mean, he already has had an MVP caliber season. But this, I mean, Hartenstein being out at the beginning, that like maybe lop a couple of wins off their total at the end, but I still think they're going to be an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Admittedly, that's the pick that I had made as well. So now I'm pivoting and adapting, and I'm trying to convince
You don't
Alex.
have to pivot. It's
No,
okay.
no. I'm a pivot. I'm gonna pivot. And,
Okay.
I don't think we'll overlap on the other picks, but I think MVP is obviously a pretty shallow field. I'm gonna go with my backup pick, which is controversial, but at the same time, best player in the best team award is most often how MVP is decided. And I am pretty confident that despite OKC's additions this summer, I still think that they play in the West, which is going to be a lot harder than playing in the East when you have like at least between 5 to 6 tanking teams. And so I think the Boston Celtics will once again have the best record in the NBA. And I do think that Jayson Tatum, if he just like, look, I don't think he's going to put up like a triple double, or close to it like a Nikola Jokic, or score over a point a minute like Joel Embiid, or even score more than Shea, for example. But I do think that like Tatum's right there, and I think that maybe if he has just like a relatively normal season shooting the three, closer to 39-40%, which we know he's very capable shooting. He's just for some reason been really terrible at pull up threes recently. If he just gets that efficiency bump up a little bit, plus the fact that like he's never won it before, I feel like he's always kind of clamoring, kind of in a way of like, I got to get my respect. I got to get my respect. I maybe it's because I'm watching Starting Five on Netflix, and he is by far the most boring part of that series. I think we should just gotta get it out the way and give it to Tatum, and then we'll never complain about it again.
What are you doing? Giving him an MVP participation trophy because you feel bad for him because you watch Netflix?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. Yeah, I think Jayson Tatum is mostly just the best player on the best team award for me.
Yeah, well, Jayson Tatum is 14-1 on Betway as an MVP pick. James, what do you think about this Jayson Tatum argument here?
I mean, I don't think the path is hard to see. If he just gets a little bit more efficient, like Will said, the Celtics are just as dominant as they were last year, then, I mean, it's right there for him. I mean, this was a guy who had, first team All NBA caliber season last year, was like kind of in the discussion ish for MVP. Like a lot of people had him on their ballot. He wasn't just right in that upper echelon. So it's like it's a little hop from where he was, but it's pretty easy to see him do it. Like if he just gets a little bit more efficient, maybe he bumps it like his per game numbers up a little bit in terms of assists and rebounding. But I don't even know if that's like super necessary. Like he already is such an incredible all-around player. The argument for him is always going to be look what he does defensively in addition to what he's doing on the offensive end. And by the way, look at how he's grown offensively. He is a guy that he doesn't necessarily have to lead the league in scoring. I think people by this point understand because people have talked about it so much, just what he does by getting downhill and then spraying the ball out, and like just how much he does for the offense. Even when his shot isn't falling. So if his shot is falling at a crazy rate, like that A, wouldn't surprise me, and B, that kind of like lays the narrative right out there for people to just say, all right, he took the final step and now he is the number one guy.
Yeah, the main argument for me is against him is just he kind of has a little too much help. Like that team is just really, really good around him in a way that like I think Shea has a lot of help now too, but it's just not comparable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that. My dark horse pick, guys, is Anthony Edwards. Okay, next up, rookie.
Wait, hold on. So who convinced you here? If you're the judge here, you gotta.
I'm supposed to evaluate these. I do think Shea is the favorite coming into this season, and I think with Tatum, like James mentioned, there's just such a by committee approach with the Celtics that I feel like he's not going to have that standout, season in the same way as Shea. And I kind of do it by like process of elimination too. I noticed you guys didn't mention like a Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic. Well, Embiid is out of the running because he's never playing on back-to-back days again. So like I think Jokic has already gotten the award so many times. Again, it's very narrative-driven. People are going to move on. I would put Luka in the conversation too, but I would go with James's pick of Shea.
Okay.
So, all right, there we go. 1-0 James in the 9th minute.
I really rookie of the year. This was a competition coming in, but I'll take it.
What you will realize, James, is that everything is a competition with us, both on the show and in real life. So next up is rookie of the year. Please tell me which one of these rookies from this trash draft is going to be the best. Let's start with you, Will.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go with Zachary Edey. No, I'm going with Zach Edey. Yeah, I think, look, he
really going off the board on this one, brother.
No, you gave me. I got the first pick here, so I'm going to make sure I take the guy I actually think will win it. But, like, super healthy player. He, like, almost never missed time in college. Now, I know he rolled his ankle twice in Summer League, but he's been able to sort of play through preseason, no problem. I know that's always one of the concerns with, like, super, super tall bigs, like seven guys, like, he's like 7'4", looks like damn 7'5" out there sometimes. But he actually was super
extra
healthy.
Inch.
Yeah, let's give him the extra inch, man. Come on, man.
7'4", playing like a 7'5" center.
You feel like he's 7'5".
He wears shoes while playing basketball. They measure you without your shoes on. He is at least 7'5", like literally when he's on the court playing basketball.
I'm walking off this episode.
When he was posting up Miles Turner for like 10 dunks in that game in preseason, I was like, Miles Turner looked like just a small forward beside him.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, so he was super healthy in college playing for Purdue. Rarely ever missed a game. I also looked at in terms of like, okay, which rookies are going to get a lot of minutes? Because it's usually just like whoever can accumulate the most minutes award. It's or most stats award, and obviously that's related to how many minutes you play. And in terms of rookies guaranteed to start, like I think Zach for sure is guaranteed to start in Memphis. There's just not a lot of center depth. I think they drafted him specifically to start. Outside of that, you probably go with Alex Sarr. He's probably going to start at the 4 for Washington until JV gets traded and he plays the 5 position. I think he's much better suited to play 5, especially offensively. Past that, I wasn't really sure. Like, I don't think there's a slam dunk case for any of the other top 10 picks to be starting. I think Risa Shea was coming off the bench in a lot of these preseason games. We'll see if that continues to be the case with the number 1 overall pick. Stephon Castle, I think, has a really strong chance to start. Donovan Clingan has a strong chance to start, but they also have to like start over guys like, he's not starting over Chris Paul or Devin Vassell, for example. So Castle would have to start at 3. And Clingan does have 2 other centers in Ayton and I guess Robert Williams, whenever he's healthy, that he has to
Oh man, the Twin Towers in Portland.
Oh, they got 3 towers over there, man. But no, Clingan looks super cool too. Like Clingan looks like I wouldn't say Andrew Bogut-ish, but like super wide, super tall, rebounds the ball, passes the ball well, and hopefully has better politics. But yeah, I'm going with Zach Edey as my first pick though.
Yeah, James, who you got, man?
So I did make a case for someone else in the top 10 that you didn't mention, Reed Sheppard in Houston. Partially, I weirdly didn't want to just go and pick 2 Canadians for different awards and feel like I was like being all Mr. Homer.
Yeah, so you're like, I'm gonna pick a white guy.
I'm gonna pick a white guy.
We see where the solidarity lies.
Oh God, I regret that.
This guy was pro Goran Dragic. Look up James's old tweets.
Oh yeah, come get me.
Yeah.
Listen, I think either's a great case for Edey. Sheppard is the only other guy that I think preseason just going in, I see like an easy pathway for, just because I think he's super good. And he's not going to start at least right away, but I'm not sure the minutes differential is going to end up being so big. I mean, Edey's like their big true center that they're going to want starting games, but I think you're also going to want to see Jaren Jackson at the 5 some. You're going to want to see Brandon Clark at the 5 some. In Houston, honestly, like it is crowded, like it just is. With Van Vliet and Green and Amen Thompson. But I do think one thing about that team is like you can easily play Van Vliet and Reed Sheppard together. And they have been open about the fact that they have done it in preseason and they're going to do it in the regular season. And then Amen Thompson, he can be a point guard, but he can also kind of be a 4-5. And that's honestly where he was best last year. You can sort of throw him wherever you want on the court. Reed Sheppard, I think he enters the league immediately as one of the best shooters in it, and he can shoot from a variety of sort of different, off a variety of different actions. He can basically play point guard for you. He can also shoot off movement. He can take really deep threes. He's one of the season he had last year is historically dominant shooting season, the likes of which we haven't seen in college basketball since Steph, honestly. So I'm just super high on him. I think he's probably just the best player in the class right now. Maybe Edey could end up just beasting and winning the award, but I think there's a pretty good chance that Sheppard is also a winning player immediately. I think he could end up closing games for a pretty good team in Houston. By the way, I mean, they were a 500 team last year. I think they project to be significantly better this year based on internal improvement and the fact that Reed Sheppard is now on the roster and Steven Adams is now on the roster. And I think he's a two-way guy. I mean, he's not a one-on-one stopper, but if you look at some of the stuff he does off ball, it's really impressive, and the nerds are going to love that.
Mm-hmm. He's really he's really active with deflections. You notice that with Reed Sheppard right away, whether that's him reading the game or just whatever anticipation, he just certainly has that knack for collecting those deflections. My question is especially seeing some of the headlines now to Houston where it's they're not offering the max to Alperen Şengün. They're not offering the max to Jalen Green, which, by the way, if you really wanted to max these guys out, you could probably would have done it in the summertime, which you saw with Scotty or Evan Mobley or Franz Wagner, guys in this class. They kind of dragged out the decision until training camp. Maybe they just wanted to see how these guys improved over the summertime, but they're still not offering them the max. And I think whatever, Şengün, I think probably will be there long term. But I do feel like with Jalen Green, that's very interesting because, like, otherwise, to me, if you already have like Reed as one of your core pieces and Amon Thompson is like really easy to slide in with other spots, wouldn't it make sense to sort of like potentially look for him as like a trade candidate going forward for Houston?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is why the Rockets are super interesting, right? Because in a
Mhm.
normal circumstance, you look at a team that just drafted Sheppard and Thompson, and you're like, this is the backcourt of the future.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, if I were a fan of a rebuilding team, I would love to see my team just build around those two guys. Those two guys are awesome. Jalen Green also averaged like 30 points for a month last year and did it like super efficiently. Then ended the season not efficiently at all, but whatever. We know the ceiling of Jalen Green.
Mhm.
And Fred VanVleet is still there. And like last year was their most impactful player. Like their offense completely died when he was off the court, and he, I thought, did exactly what they wanted him to do. Um, we don't know who is actually going to still be on this team and in this core a few years from now. And I think with Şengün, it's a little different than Green. With both of them, I think there's the idea of like, let's keep our flexibility and see how things played out. I think specifically with Şengün, because he was like the 16th pick, this is more of like a salary cap situation like it was with Maxey, right? Like he's
Right.
going to have that small cap hold, so they don't want to go and raise that number way up next summer because they might want to use the space that they have to do some creative stuff. I mean, I truly have no idea what this front office is going to do. Like, before Woj left the reporting business, he reported that they were trying to trade for Kevin Durant last June, and then like later that night was like, they're not going to get Durant, but they still are looking to make a major upgrade, and like they didn't
Mm.
end up doing that. But like, who's to say they don't between now and the trade deadline package like more than one of these young guys? Maybe it's Jalen Green and a Cam Whitmore or a Tari Eason
Right.
or like
Right.
whoever it is, and go get like an actual like superstar player if there's one who wants out. Like I do think there is a difference between this Houston team and some other teams we've seen similarly build the team through the drafts over the years, in that there is maybe not desperation, but a want to
Mhm.
make a big leap now, and try to just get back into the playoffs and get back in the championship conversation rather than like just letting the young guys lead you there.
It does feel
Yeah.
like they're a little too antsy. Like they should follow an OKC path rather than like trying to jump ahead and expedite this timeline.
It's Tillman Fertitta, man. He's not a patient guy. Wong Shadamas, Jimmy Butler ends up in Houston. Really like the case you presented for Reed Sheppard, James, demonstrating your basketball knowledge.
Wow.
But the minute that Zach Edey was
Oh, yeah.
mentioned from Canada and Asian, that's one for Will. I'm going with Zach Edey.
go.
Sleeper pick. The Lakers fans make a push for Dalton Connect. Next up, the DPOY, aka the defensive player of
Horrible
the
mouthfeel.
year. Who is your DPOY, James Herbert?
This is an easy one. Victor
Yeah.
Wembanyama is my DPOY. There was an argument for him winning it last year as a rookie, which is insane. Like no rookie should ever realistically be in the conversation, but he was that good. And it's the blocks that are like the loudest things that he does. But I mean, he's also not perfect. Like he makes mistakes, but he makes way fewer of them than you would expect for a guy that young whose job is to clean up other people's mistakes. And oh boy, were there a lot of mistakes to clean up in San Antonio last year. I think the team will improve this year, but I mean, he does things defensively that nobody does and nobody ever has. And I think he's probably going to be a perennial winner of this award as long as he stays healthy for the next few years.
Yeah, I don't even have the heart to argue for anyone else, man. Just to put it into perspective, the steals plus blocks thing, the stocks that people like to track for an award like this. I mean, like we would like to pretend that everyone is like grinding a bunch of tape and like really focusing on the details or like, who gets over the screen or not. That doesn't, translate the stats. But yeah, in terms of just stocks, I would just give you the guys who were around 3 stocks last season. And Anthony
you
Davis.
working at Pure Point Co right now? What's going on?
Man. Harper Stern calling in.
Holy, this guy is shorting Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I'm treating you like Jesse Bloom right now. I'm trying to get you to buy.
God,
I'm trying to get you to tamper. But
all right, tell me about these 3 stock players.
So Anthony
Harper?
Davis, 1.2 steals, 2.3 blocks. That's 3.5 stocks, right? pretty much everyone else is below that. Daniel Gafford was at 3, surprisingly. 0.9 steals, 2.1 blocks. Joel Embiid, 1.2 steals, 1.7 blocks. So that's 2.9. Shea was at 2.9 as well, 2 steals and 0.9 blocks. Chet was pretty close, 0.6 steals, 2.3 blocks. But basically, the only other guy over 3 stocks with Anthony Davis at 3.5. And also, we know Anthony Davis is like a very credible defensive player of the year candidate in a normal human world. Wemby last year averaged 4.8 stocks, and he played way fewer minutes than pretty much everyone I just mentioned. So, like, it's ridiculous what he can do. Like, it's not even fair. Like, the only question is, like, is he going to end up with like the most defensive player awards in history? You know what I mean? I think the record is still 4.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
I think Gobert has 4 now, right?
Right. Gobert and Dikembe.
Dikembe, yeah.
Yeah.
damn.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I think the other question for Wemby, and we can talk about it when the other awards come up, is I think he could be like a multi-award winner this year, and I do think there is no discussion about the DPOY. So thanks, guys, for this great discussion about Defensive Player of the Year. I guess that's a draw for both of you. So we're 1-1 into the 22nd minute here.
okay. Exciting game so far.
Yeah, exciting game, man. Dark horse pick. There's really no dark horse
There's
pick.
no dark horse, man.
There's really no dark horse.
Go
There's
like
only one
OG
horse in this
Anunoby or
race.
someone like that. Like,
But I don't think the
there's
Knicks are
other
going to be a.
dudes.
You think the Knicks are going to be a great defensive team?
Well,
Like,
if
they
they
would have to
are-
be a great defensive team, and then I think and OG has to stay healthy. Like, let me see 80
Yes.
games of OG, and then I'll believe it.
Let's start with 65, which is the minimum.
Yeah. So next up is sixth man of the year. Really curious where you guys going with this, James. Who do you have as the sixth man of the year?
Isn't it Will's turn? Okay, I can
Nah,
go if you would
whatever,
like.
it's
to.
fine.
No,
Nah, go
man.
ahead.
There's no rules to this stuff.
I don't think you'll have the same candidate.
Will did a little pure point call. He's acting like Sweet Pea right now, so we're moving on. Yeah.
Maybe 2 + 2 equals F. I'm gonna cut down on swearing. Thanks to one of the fans who pointed it out. They're like, I was driving in the car with my child, and you were calling
Oh yeah,
Scotty
come
Barnes
on, man.
effing Godzilla.
Man,
and I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna.
Yo,
cut it
that's
down.
that's fucked up, man.
Wow.
All right, James.
What are you doing, man?
James, sorry,
man.
child.
I'm genuinely trying to do this.
Okay, James, who is your sixth man of the year?
So I'm going to take a Minnesota Timberwolf, but I'm not going to take Naj Reid. Surprisingly, I'm going with Dante DiVincenzo for sixth man of the year.
Ooh.
I like this. It's a good pick.
Okay.
I mean, I think he's going to play a ton for them off the bench, and if he has remotely the same kind of shooting season that he had last year, he's going to be like a huge help for them. And he's a really good player. He's a two-way player, and I think he's also someone that, like, because of the run that he had late last season and into the playoffs, like, everybody's sort of aware of what a difference maker he can be now. And yeah, I mean, he is competing with somebody in his own team, so that makes it a little tough, but I'm pretty bullish on DiVincenzo's fit there. They like really needed somebody like him.
Do you think? What's the path to him getting more minutes? You know what I mean? Like, is it?
I think you've already seen it because in the preseason, they've actually used him a little as the backup point guard.
Interesting.
And I think part of that is like trying to slow play it with Dillingham a little bit. And that could evolve over the course of the season. But I think like they are using that just as a way to get him as many minutes as possible. Is like, yeah, we'll have Dante bring the ball up and get us into our set. Like now, once he gets off of it, he might end up moving around and doing his DiVincenzo stuff. But they are using him as an initiator now. At least they have early on.
Yeah. No, I like that pick. That wasn't even on my radar, but as soon as you said it, that was a great candidate. I'm gonna go with somebody who was probably not on most people's radar anyway. I'm gonna go with Jaime Jaquez Jr.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, Triple J in the Eastern Conference.
Yep, no one's ever called him that. Yeah.
The set. Yeah, so I think with with the Heat, they have a lot of guys, as always. Like, they play a deeper rotation. You know, Eric Spoelstra has to get creative. You know that Jimmy Butler, despite him taking the regular season seriously, is probably going to miss easily 10 to 15 games. Guys going to be in and out of that thing. Tyler Hero. So I actually think that Jaime has a decent chance to start. Not half the games, because that would invalidate you for the award, but he will get a lot of minutes. I think that, yeah, I mean, he had a really promising rookie season. He's somebody who could really take it strong to the basket for a Heat team that doesn't really have a big interior presence. Like, I feel like they cut well, they space well. Eric Spoelstra does a great job of sort of leveraging pieces off of each other. But in terms of guys who actually can handle themselves well around the basket and play in the paint, Jaime Jaquez, especially as a guard, has a good post game too, which is really interesting. Um, but yeah, it fits pretty much all the Miami style. And I also think that a lot of the rotation players are older, so I think that for him, there's a chance for him to get minutes. He was already pretty good as a rookie. Obviously, came in as an older rookie, and I think he just takes a little mini step and probably gets to 16 points a game, that range, and that puts you pretty squarely for six man. But I mean, six man could be anybody, man. It's the most random award, I swear, every year.
I love that pick. I considered picking Reed Sheppard for this too, just to
Wow.
I think Ben Gordon's the only guy who's done that as a rookie.
Oh, you mean Jerome Chang a pickup? Anyway.
Oh man. Wow. Yeah, appreciate your pitch there, Eric Tao, on your sixth man of the year, but I'm gonna go with James here. I like the Dante DiVincenzo pick, and my dark horse pick is Buddy Hield of the Warriors. So James
is he not going to start, or I guess it's Stefan Podziemski?
I think they're going to have him coming off the bench, and I feel like sixth man of the year literally is just who scores the most points off the bench sometimes.
Yeah,
so too often, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that gives Buddy a chance if he has a good season. So it's 2-1 James here in the 27th minute, and we are now going to the Most Improved Player Award. Will, who is your most improved player pick?
This is where I'm going to make Toronto content in. I'm going to go with RJ Barrett. And I think that the case for this is a little bit difficult because usually most improved player, kind of similar to six man of the year, is sort of six man is who scores the most off the bench. Most improved is usually who has the biggest jump in scoring from the previous season. And so I don't think that RJ's always been a scorer. So it's not like he's going to suddenly come in and average 27 points a game. And you'd be like, whoa, first off, if you average 27, this is a lock for him winning this award. I do think it's sort of a bit narrative based, but also perception based. Because I think that the perception coming out of New York is just it didn't quite pan out. I know they were super excited that draft. They were like, oh my God, Zion's number 1, and then Ja Morant's number 2. They ultimately ended up with the number 3 pick, and they ended up with RJ. RJ ended up being a pretty decent player for them. Started obviously the majority of his time there, but at the same time, just the efficiency wasn't quite fully there. And it wasn't like he was that sort of, he's not like the star that Zion and Ja are in terms of you give them the ball, you get out of the way, and then they sort of impose themselves and either score or they use kind of double team and they pass or whatever. But with RJ, I think even last season coming to Toronto really changed up the way he played, really streamlined and made himself way more efficient. I know Darko didn't necessarily like my question about this on media day, but I think it's pretty undeniable that his efficiency jump last season with the Knicks, his true shooting was 53%. With the Raptors, it was 61%. That's huge. And I think that if he continues that over into this season, people are going to realize, wait, hold on. RJ's actually not bad anymore. RJ's no longer, quote unquote, a toxic asset, as it was previously reported. And they're going to see that, a little bump in scoring, but most importantly, the efficiency. People will love that. I think the biggest thing for himself, too, is he's got to improve on defense, because I think that there's no reason why he can't get to being an average defender. Right now, he's slowly below average. And yeah, I think you put all those marginal improvements together, you go from a guy who, again, is paid a lot, although paid pretty reasonably based on sort of today's prices. I see Jalen Suggs asking for 30, which is kind of nasty in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, I think, RJ Barrett has a good case for this, for people who are really looking at this and, analyzing true improvement, okay? Not like a year 1 to year 2 kind of jump, like somebody who figured out a better way to play midway through their career.
I just kind of want to talk about RJ Barrett now, but I'm going to resist that temptation.
You can back my pick, I guess.
Well, no, I want to pick someone else, but I do think it's a smart pick. I think it's one of those where it's he did the improvement already last year, but how many people noticed? So
nobody, man. Nobody's watching Raptors after all season, really.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Evan Mobley. I am encouraged by the signs out of Cleveland's kind of preseason and training camp. Like Kenny Atkinson wants to give him the ball more, use him as more of a hub. I think he's going to take more threes. I don't know that the threes are the basis for this, but I think it's more just involving him more as a ball handler, as a playmaker, as he's a really, really good passer. And I don't think we saw we saw the high-low feeds and stuff like that in his first few years. But I think Atkinson really wants to diversify this offense, less just pick and roll basketball with kind of bad spacing. They're going to try to improve the spacing, but I think one of the ways they're going to try to improve the spacing is by doing things a little bit differently and playing through their bigs more. And I think Mobley is the guy that they are emphasizing in that respect more than Allen, at least early on. And beyond that, I just think he's like a super talented player, a super skilled player. He's really young. He's like the kind of guy who, um, I think just based on the way his first few years have gone, it's like an example of development not being linear all the time, because he came in and everybody was like, "Oh my god, like this is the best defensive rookie season since Tim Duncan. This guy's going to be a superstar." And then the narrative kind of shifted to like, "Oh, like why isn't he like consistently taking a ton of threes yet? And like, does he not have a bag? Like, why isn't he scoring more?" But I think
Marvin Bagless. Sorry.
I think all along he has been working on his offensive game. And I think that leap could very well come this season, especially with the new coach and the new way that they're going to play.
So I love this new coach approach of like, we're gonna come. The hot thing right now in the NBA is a coach comes in, takes over like a decent existing team, and says, "I'm gonna change the offense to play around a hub." I feel like this concept really wasn't openly talked about or even prioritized even like 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm noticing like JJ Redick comes in, it's like we're gonna turn Anthony Davis into a hub. When JJ was trying to interview for the Toronto job, and obviously Darko got it, but even Darko was like, we're gonna turn Scotty into a bit of a hub.
Fernandez
Mike,
in Brooklyn about Claxton as well this summer.
there you go. Like everybody's trying to hub their offense. Like it's interesting. I think there's certain skill sets for players that will really work. I think in the case of Mobley, what's good about him is his best way of scoring right now is probably you give it to him face up around that elbow area.
Mm-hmm.
And if he could take one dribble, he could use his size a little bit. Like it kind of cuts down on the amount of work that he needs to do. Cause like you mentioned, like he's not a bag type of player. He just isn't. Like we've seen him get bagged up lots of times defensively, and his 3-point shot is more inconsistent. So unless you're going to play him consistently in pick and rolls, which you can, um, it's better to sort of let him sort of get into his spots and sort of face up. The issue around that type of thing is just like I feel like you're just the high impact just doesn't really hit for him. First off, if you're going to run your hub through the mid range, I feel like a lot of those dribble handoffs for guys to get threes, like a Strus, for example, like you got to run that higher so that Strus can actually be
Mm-hmm.
above the 3-point line. You can't really do that from the elbows. The other thing too for him is just like, I mean, it's a nice concept, but I also think that like you would need Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland to buy into it, and they're clearly superior offensive players to Mobley. So I don't know. I'm a bit of a resident Mobley hater on this in this program, but at the same time, like I do think it's a step in the right direction. I want to see how it's implemented and how that actually changes, because he did a lot of good things in the playoffs where he was facing
Yeah.
up and actually did a really good job of scoring for them at times.
Yeah, guys, great picks, but no points for you guys because I think Victor Wembanyama is going to win the Most Improved Player. So sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Next up is the Coach of the Year. James, who is your Coach of the Year pick?
This is always the toughest one because I can always make a case for like 5 different guys.
They should have an all NBA first team coaches.
Honestly,
I can't believe Ime Udoka was second team.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Atkinson in Cleveland. It often
You
goes
love
to coach.
Kenny, bro. You love Kenny, bro.
I think he's a really good coach. I think it's hard. Like I was thinking of a few different guys in the West, and then I just feel like wins are going to be harder to come by in the West. Whereas in the East, like if the Cavs, I mean, some of this is like I'm just thinking sort of practically, is like if the Cavs are just healthier this year, and they're a little bit better, they could have quite a big jump in wins and like just beat up on bad teams, which some of the teams in the West can't do. Also, like I just think like everything I've heard from Atkinson makes sense. I think they are going to, the offense is going to be a little bit different. I think they have a pretty high ceiling there. And I think the defense, he doesn't honestly have to change all that much. I think they're going to be a really good defensive team. If they just, I think they profile as a team that can just pile up regular season wins. And they did that a couple of years ago. Last year, I think if the season had shaken out a little bit differently from a health perspective, like they might have done that. So yeah, we'll just see how the pieces fit. But like I'm pretty bullish on the Cavs as a regular season win machine.
Yeah, I mean, I think for him to win the award, he would have to like make them jump probably like 7 to 8 wins, which is already hard from their position. Like I think they won like 48 last year, 47, 48, 49, that range.
It was high 40s, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he could do it, that would be certainly very impressive. For me, I'm going to go with Joe Mazzulla, the biggest weirdo in the NBA.
Joe.
This man is listening to Radiohead Creep on repeat from the local Boston radio station.
While watching The Town on mute.
He's actually just... What I got to a point with Lord of the Rings is I would turn the volume down and then start doing the voices.
Oh, okay. This is called cosplay. By the way, there's actually a word for that.
Yeah, basically cosplay, you know? I'm like, you know, what about those? They look fresh.
You sound like Kevin Harlan, man. Is that supposed to be a Lord of the Rings character? Is that Gollum? Is that Gollum's music?
No, that's the orcs who were trying to eat Merry and Pippin. Remember at the start of Two Towers?
I mean, I did watch Uncut Gems on.
Not for eating.
I did watch Uncut Gems on mute the other day. I don't know how that happened.
Yo,
I just wanted it
even
on.
More stressful, man.
Yeah, I just wanted it on.
What, you just wanted background stress in your life?
It just looked really cool. Wait, how do we get here? Oh yeah, Joe Mazzulla.
Joe
you
Mazzulla,
you have Sleepy Joe as your pick.
Oh, he's super
Don't call him
awake.
Sleepy Joe.
He's super awake, man. No, I mean, I actually...
I don't know if he sleeps at all, man.
That's the thing. Like he's so intense. He's so about Jesus as well. You know, remember when the royal family was in town in Boston, I guess, in the town to like watch the Celtics, and they were like, "Hey, what did you think of the royal family being there?" And he's like, "Oh, you know, Mary, Joseph, and the other one." Like, it's like, sorry, I'm not religious at all. Sorry, this is not trying to do disrespectful. I just don't know. But like, yeah, I mean, he's just like super into things, and he's very intense, and yeah, maybe it's because, again, I've been watching Starting Five, so Jayson Tatum has been coached a little bit. But even those moments where he's like getting in Jayson Tatum's face and really challenging him, I really like that stuff. It's kind of similar to the case that Nick Nurse had in terms of like he already had a really good formula for success with his team. And then after the championship, that really validates like just like you can go ahead and vote for a winner. It's always easier to vote for a guy who's already won. And I feel like Mazzulla is going to have the best record in the NBA. I feel like people are going to feel a little bit bad. They're like, you know, hey, remember when everyone was shitting on Joe Mazzulla? You know, guess what? He's actually really good now, and he's a champion. This is your chance to sort of repent. And yeah, I do think that there's also a very strong Boston media contingent every year that ends up voting for awards. So I'm going to go with Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah. Have you seen much of his interviews on the Starting Five yet, where he's like sitting in the boardroom? And
yes.
I love his answer. Like every time they show him on screen, I'm just like, just give me more.
I'm actually warming up to him. Like I think like the next Starting Five should be coaches.
Wow. So yeah, we should just pick the 5 coaches who make the All NBA first coach team. But I do like the Kenny Atkinson pick from just the approach of like from the Eastern Conference. You know, a team that makes a jump is going to land their coach in this discussion. Like even looking at the betting odds, like they got Jamal Mosley up there. Tom Thibodeau is there as well, and Eric Spoelstra. Like even if like say the Pacers suddenly like finish with like a top 3 record in the East, I could see like Rick Carlisle getting buzz. But I'm gonna have to give it to Will on this one. I think I like the Joe Mazzulla pick. So we are now tied at 2-2 in the 39th minute here. I feel like that guy on Around the Horn like host.
It should be around halftime at this point, no? Like
yeah. So we're at the half now.
So by now you've already heard the news that Coors Light, as part of the Raptors' 30th anniversary, has these very specially branded cans. They look beautiful. Look at these things, man. Look at these.
They're
beautiful,
covering
beautiful cans.
Each era from the first 30 years of the Raptors, and you can get them now at select LCBO stores, participating bars and restaurants across the GTA, and also at Scotiabank Arena. But one more thing, Will, make sure to check out ERAineveryCan.com, ERAineveryCan.com to check out these limited edition cans. And fans can go on the website and enter for a chance to win exclusive Coors Light Raptors prizes. I heard there's some really cool merch collabs and other things happening as well.
So. No, I'm actually, you know what? You actually did tell me what those collabs are going to be. And I got to say, like, I'm really, really excited. I know Coors Light is a partner that we've worked with in the past as well, but this is just beautiful. Like, honestly, I don't even know if I want to drink these cans, man. You got like the OG, you got like the championship season, and then you got like whatever's in between. I guess the Chris Bosh can. I'll probably drink the Chris Bosh can if it.
Yeah, I mean, one to rock, one to stock, and also for Raptors fans, like make sure you keep an eye out. Follow Coors Light on social because they're gonna pop up around the city as well.
Oh, word?
I'm hearing they might be at Rogers Center. They might be outside Scotiabank Arena. They might be at Nathan Phillips Square for more prize giveaways. So make sure you check that out. Remember, you must be 19 plus and celebrate responsibly.
I'm gonna be there. I can't wait to celebrate.
Yeah. So this is my favorite award. Actually, some of my favorite awards are coming up. Exec of the Year. James, who is your pick for Exec of the Year?
Sam Presti. Do I have to explain it?
Damn, that's an easy one. Yeah, damn.
I don't know that I mean, you could make an argument for Morey based on the offseason as well. To me, it's Presti. I mean, they got Hardenstein and Caruso. Like the Giddey for Caruso trade is just flat unbelievable. They didn't give up any picks in that deal, and you're sort of rewarding him for more than 1 year. I think, like if you give him this award, it's like you built this thing from the ground up, and it's kind of like if they do go and win like 60 games or whatever, this is sort of like the culmination of a like step-by-step process that we've seen the last few years. But I think even if you're just looking at it from the prism, like, all right, last summer, who made the best moves? Like to me, that conversation all summer has been like the Sixers and the Thunder, and the way the Thunder approached it, I think was pretty creative and like pretty impressive.
So this was certainly where my mind went for preparing for this. Like immediately I'm like, okay, Sam Presti. And then I looked into like the former winners of Executive of the Year. It's shocked to me that like he has never won Executive of the Year before. Now, of course, like this is one of those awards that don't typically repeat. I feel like this is first off voted on by fellow executives. And so they try to like spread the wealth around, like everyone gets a turn kind of thing. Except for Brian Colangelo, he's actually won it twice in 2005 and also 2007, which is I think the only
two different teams though, right?
Two different teams, which is true. I mean, I think he deserved it fully for this Phoenix one. The second one, drafting Bargnani first overall, should immediately invalidate you, even though the Raptors did win 47 games, and I really liked that season. I think the only thing was like, okay, so Sam Presti, you look at his career, right? When he eventually retires one day and he hangs up those clear framed rims, all right,
he hangs up those second round picks.
He's gonna be
he's gonna have Mark Tatum with him, introducing him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they should actually play the draft music. Jerome, insert the NBA draft music once
again.
He's
not doing that.
All right, fine. You're going to look back on his career. Number one thing he did was draft Kevin Durant. Number two thing he did was draft James Harden, Russell Westbrook, built that team. Then probably, honestly, the Shea trade, aka the Paul George trade, that should be like probably top 4, I guess. Like, I don't want to disrespect Hall of Famers, but like Shea is going to be a Hall of Famer too. You're going to have to go very far down the list until you get to like signing Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein one summer. And that's why for my pick here, I'm going to go with Leon Rose. I feel like no one else has really made bigger moves than the Knicks. And of course, the Knicks have a high chance of it blowing up in their face. Right now, Mikal Bridges for 5 picks is looking crazy based on the way he's shooting. But at the same time, like if it actually does work out how it is expected to in New York, I feel like it's also easier to make this case because New York has been this like destitute franchise that like has always been the brunt of like the butt of every joke. And if they actually become respectable, which they have been the last couple of years, like I think he actually deserves a lot of credit for doing that. So
yeah, the big question, if Leon Rose wins Exec of the Year, I don't know if people know, but James knows because he's in New York. Like Leon has not held like a single public press conference since he like joined the team, right? James, like who would accept the award and go to the presser if Leon Rose wins this award?
I don't think you have to do a press conference for Executive of the Year.
No, but I'm sure if Presti won, he would do a 2-hour presser.
Yeah, of course, man.
Like that's a 2-hour presser that's coming.
Andrew Schleck getting 15 questions in.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe because I have the CEO mindset, but I love just talking Exec of the Year. Like I'd be down to rank all 30 execs in the league. Because that Leon Rose pick got me excited, man. I didn't even think about him. I was thinking like James in terms of like Presti. I know Daryl Morey, obviously, with the Paul George acquisition and the other moves. But, for the excitement that you brought to me, Will, I'm going to give you a point for this one.
Let's go.
Leon Rose. Love that one.
Yo, by the way, can I give you
up?
some fun facts about the executive of the year? Because I did look up like who won it in the past.
Please, man. This is my favorite award.
So 2011 or 2010, 2011, otherwise known as the formation of the Big Three Heatles.
Pat Riley didn't win?
Pat Riley tied Gar Forman. I didn't know you could tie.
What did Gar Forman do that year? Like Derrick Rose?
It was a Derrick Rose year. They won 62 games. They actually won the regular season in the East and maybe overall in the league. But that was a tie in executive of the year.
I don't think it should be voted.
Execs, man.
Yeah, I don't think it should be voted by other execs. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Why is this not an award that's voted on by like the writers?
Yeah, I mean there's certainly some very strange ones. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Petrie has won this multiple times for Sacramento Kings. Although, to be fair, that was like the
Petrie dish.
That was the late 90s when they actually had a really good Kings team. So
yeah, well, the one gripe, we do this every year just to mention that Masai did not win Exec of the year that he traded for Kawhi.
Yeah, that's right. It was John Horst.
Yeah, John Horst with the
Locked on
Lopez. Brooke Lopez.
John Horst.
Yeah, so there we go. All right. Let's go clutch player of the year first. Clutch player of the year. I love predicting who's going to be the most clutch this year. Who do you guys think is going to drain jumpers from the top of the key with 3 minutes left, guys? Who's your... Let's go with Will first. Will, who you got?
Yeah, this is objectively a very funny award to predict before the season. I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson. I just feel like the Knicks are going to win a lot of games, but they're also going to have like a lot of closer games as compared to most like really good teams. And yeah, I mean, every time I watch the Knicks, like they're down, it's down the stretch, and then Jalen Brunson has to score like 5 tough buckets. The Garden goes crazy, and they win by 2. So that's it. That's the whole award.
I like that, James.
I like that pick. I went with Jokic though. Sort of honestly, like obviously a super clutch player, just like impossible to stop down the stretch of close games. And similarly, I was thinking like they might play more close games this year. Like I don't know that they're going to have as many blowout victories. They already, like honestly, like if you look at their kind of win profile as compared to like other elite teams in the last few years, like they don't have that many blowouts to begin with. Like their net rating often isn't as good as some of the other teams that get those blowout wins more often. Like that just hasn't really been their formula. But I think now that they are a little bit shorter on offensive talent and like at least spacing than they have been in years past. They might need to pull out some more games down the stretch. And in those situations, like we know exactly what the Nuggets do. They go to that 2-man game and they specifically just get the ball to Jokic and have him pick the defense apart.
Yeah, I like both these picks, but I'm not going to give points to either of you because the winner is going to be Dame Lillard. As I've mentioned, year 2 divorce is better than year 1 divorce, and Dame time is coming back this season. I can see him hitting a couple of game winners, hitting that Dame time, and Dame Lillard is going to win this award. He is currently 15-1 on Betway. So so guys, gamble responsibly, but maybe put a single dollar on that. No, I'm putting a buck. So we are the tiebreaker to see who wins these award predictions is going to come down to the Twyman-Stokes Teammate of the Year.
What happened to the game I love?
James Herbert, who is your Teammate of the Year pick?
Oh my god.
I'm going to stick with the Denver Nuggets and pick DeAndre Jordan. Everybody loves the
guy. This guy's a professional teammate at this point, man.
That's right.
I didn't know it was the Garrett Temple Award.
I considered Garrett Temple. Those were my 2 finalists
he's an amazing teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the DeAndre Jordan pick. Man, I could see Russell Westbrook on there too. I feel like people want to give, Russ, like slack for like how he performed on the court, etc. But he's a great teammate. And I think Russ and DeAndre there is great for them.
Are there betting odds on this? Like, can you is like
there
Drew Holiday the favorite?
There are currently no betting odds, but I'm going to go ahead and say Grant Williams is off the board for this one, guys.
He's been a model teammate in Charlotte.
We should have the worst teammate of the year award.
Oh man, there's so many to pick from.
James Harden, 5-time winner.
Kawhi Leonard, he never shows up. All right, Will, who's your Twyman-Stokes, man?
Okay, so obviously I considered like longtime vets who are beloved. Garrett Temple here, like genuinely, is a super nice guy, and like he's spoken about greatly here. But then I looked up the history of the Twyman-Stokes Award, and
I did too.
It kind of has to go to guys who actually play, because it's like Chauncey Billups, Shane Battier, Tim Duncan, Vince Carter, Dirk Nowitzki, like Jamal Crawford, Mike Conley is a 2-time winner of this award, which is second to only Drew Holiday, who has somehow won it 3 times in this decade
by the
of
way,
existence.
who votes for this?
The players, but
players
from they are given like a pool of finalists.
Okay.
And they vote based on that. I don't know exactly how the pool of finalists is selected.
That's what I'm saying.
But
yeah, and then I think Damian Lillard has won it 1 time. So looking at this, it looks like a very beloved longtime veteran. And I think one very beloved longtime veteran is DeMar DeRozan. I mean, he's going to a new franchise,
I could see
so his new teammates are all going to love him. He already has incredible PR. Like DeMar actually has one of the best PRs of any like star player in the league.
We talking PR, not PER anymore. What happened to the game I love?
Sorry, John Hollinger. You didn't pass.
He's leading the NBA in PR.
Yo, DeMar got top 5 PR in the league.
What are you doing, man?
No, but like I think him going to a new team, his teammates are gonna love and appreciate him. He's genuinely a great dude. He's got a great book out as well. And yeah, I'm gonna play the therapy card and say DeMar wins this.
Yeah.
I stood no chance in this one. Shit.
hopefully, we'll find a betting site where I can parlay DeMar for Clutch Player of the Year and Twyman-Stokes.
You need to
That'd
find
be amazing.
Ontario, bro.
Yeah, guys, unfortunately, this is going to end in a draw because, impressive picks for Twyman-Stokes. But, the winner should be Thanasis Antetokounmpo because even though he is missing the entire season of rehab from a torn Achilles, the Bucks are reportedly making room for making a roster spot for him, and they're going to re-sign
They're trying
Thanasis.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to. So if that's not a teammate of the year, like, come on, man. Like that locker room presence from Thanasis, I think this award should be changed to be named after him, actually. Wow. Like his name, it should be the Twyman-Stokes Antetokounmpo Teammate of the Year award. So
we have so many former sons in the league now, and also literally sons who are playing with their dads and Bronny, that we should have like a nepotism player of the Nepo baby of the year.
Oh my God.
We actually should have that in the league, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's another episode where we could just create awards. All right. That was great, man. I'm really looking forward to tracking these this season, especially Exec of the Year, to see who's going to come out in that race. So before we wrap up, James, every time we have you on, we have to do a Who He Play For segment. For people that are not familiar, this was popularized on Inside the NBA, where Charles Barkley has to guess where NBA players are playing right now. And I famously don't watch basketball, and this has been a really fun segment. So, James, I know you have 10 players today. So the over-under is currently set at 2.5. I have to get 3 out of 10 because it's preseason. I'm not really familiar with the landscape of the NBA right now. So, James, hit me with these, and I'll have Will here to maybe assist me if possible.
All right, let's go with a former Raptor, Steve Mikhailuk.
Steve Mikhailuk. I'm going to get this one because we talked about him. Utah Jazz.
Crap.
Yo, did you call him Steve Mikhailuk?
You did call him Steve, man.
Steve.
I didn't call him Steve.
I heard Steve.
Oh my God.
All right.
Peter Stojakovic. Okay, that's one for me. Let's go.
Let's go Taj Gibson.
Taj, he's still in the league?
I knew you were going to say that.
Wait, man. Taj Gibson. Which team would have him, man? Not the Timberwolves. Tibbs is not there anymore. He's not. I don't think he's on the Knicks.
Yeah. I'll give you the hint that he's not with Tibbs anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bulls.
Charlotte Hornets. You said
he's with Charlotte.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God. I honestly respect to Taj Gibson. The second Udonis Haslem of this era, but I can't believe he's still in the league.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
This is such a good pick because this would actually end up on Who He Played For inside the NBA.
So.
Like. Yeah.
All right.
Amazing.
I'm still okay. What's your third one?
All right. You want an easier one? I'll give you an easier one. Canadian legend Corey Joseph.
Canadian legend.
Bro, we reported on this when we were at Summer League.
Oh, that's right. I was the one who got the scoop. The Orlando Magic.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Let's go.
James,
known that.
you gotta go into your second list. I feel
Yeah,
like
go into your bag, man.
Go into
Although
your
you couldn't
second
get
list.
Taj, so
yeah.
All right. I like this one. Like, we're gonna go with Shake Milton.
Shake and Bake Milton. Oh man, Shake
favorite
Milton
segment.
is on the Phoenix
Use
Suns.
me for hints. No, man. Damn.
He's on
Where
the
is
Nets.
he?
He's on the
What
Nets.
kind of hints am I supposed to get,
We
man?
just watched him in preseason.
That-
Raptors just played the Nets. I
Yeah.
know you were busy watching WNBA Game 4, though. I can't blame you.
Oh my god, yeah, I only watch WNBA now. Not the National Boring Association. Okay, so
Wow.
okay, Shake Milton, good one. I'm 1 for 4 right now.
No, you're 2 for 2. 2 for 4.
No,
sorry.
yeah, I got Corey Joseph. I'm 2 for
Yeah,
4.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm 2 for 4.
You're not
Let's
doing
go.
bad.
That's not bad. That's actually better than before.
All right, let's go. Jalen Smith. Sticks.
Come on, dog.
Jalen Smith.
Bro, this guy's been getting minutes, man.
Jalen Smith.
Come on.
Is he on?
Use me for
the-
hints, bro. You just
He's on the Atlanta Hawks.
no.
You said that with such confidence. I love it. No, he is on the Chicago Bulls.
Dog.
Yo, I saw
He's
Jalen,
been
the guy with the
playing.
glasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw him on the game day graphic the other day. I retweeted it. Oh my
You
god!
retweeted it?
Yes, I just
Wow.
I didn't know that was Jalen Smith. Oh
You
my
just
god!
Didn't know who
Wasn't-
he even is.
Wasn't he like a highly touted former like first rounder?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was like 10th overall to Phoenix, and then Phoenix,
like, just
take
didn't
his
work out.
option. Yeah.
Okay, damn.
But he
man,
was
okay.
good for the Pacers last year, kind of, I guess.
All right,
Well, I need
all
to.
right.
I want to check if this guy has been waived because it's
That's
entirely
fine, that's
possible
fine.
that as we're talking, he has been waived.
No, that's fine. Is it Brendan Carlson?
No.
Okay.
Okay, he has not been waived yet. All right.
Sick.
Cody Zeller.
Dog,
By the
Cody
time you guys
Zeller.
are hearing this, he may no longer be on the
I
team.
don't
that he's
know
currently
where
on.
he is.
Cody
right now.
Zeller feels like he's currently in Milwaukee.
Atlanta Hawks.
He was on the
Wow.
Atlanta. Oh my god.
That means
Yeah,
have
these are-
have they had all 3 Zeller brothers?
Man.
Did they have Luke Zeller?
I don't, well, okay,
Freaking,
well, it's Luke Zeller would be
Buyers and Zellers over here, man.
That's actually crazy to say. Luke Zeller.
Okay, two for 6 right now.
Zeller, like Milton, was signed and traded as part of a bigger deal just because they like needed another person in it.
I didn't ask you. I
Right.
didn't ask you for that.
Oh.
Two
Just a
for
fun
6,
fact.
James.
This is
Who's
pretty
your
good.
who's your next
Um,
guy?
I don't think this is gonna be that hard. Let's go Mo Bamba.
Mo
Bro.
Bamba. So you're saying he's not? Wait, was he on Orlando last season?
No, he
What?
wasn't.
Okay, tell me the team he was on last season.
He was on the
with Nick
Sixers
Nurse.
last year.
He was on the Sixers.
He no longer is on the Sixers.
Yes,
Mo Bamba got to be on a losing team, kind of like reclamation project type.
they're kind of a TBD team. I'll say that much. Like,
Oh, that's a
gonna-
big hint. That's a big hint.
I don't get that. I'm gonna go
they
with
probably won't be over 500, but they expect to be over 500.
Houston.
No, man.
Oh,
The, the Los Angeles Clippers.
he's on the Clippers. Oh, the Clippers are done, man. The
That's him
Clippers
and
are
Kai
so,
Jones coming out that
the
bench.
Clippers are so done.
I guess
man.
I'll cross Kai Jones off of my. No, he's,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. 2
Oh,
for
that's too
7.
obvious. He would have known Kai.
2
he
for
actually
7.
Kai is on my easier players list. If
Word.
Alex
Oh.
was doing really poorly, I had some easier ones that I was going to go to.
All right, you can still go 500 though. You got to get the next 3.
Yeah, that's impossible. I've never gone a 3-game win streak in this game.
All right, this is admittedly that's kind of a tough one. Jordan McLaughlin.
Oh my god. I will remember you. Wait, he was on Minnesota, right?
He was, but
Yeah.
he is not any.
Did he
longer.
bounce around anywhere else after Mini?
I believe
It-
he played for
don't
Mini,
think
and
so.
now he's on this team, and that's it.
It
Yeah.
feels like Phoenix
I
is
don't know
scooping
so
up every
much.
guard, so I'm gonna go with Phoenix Suns.
Sacramento.
Oh, my God.
Sacramento.
Why do they need another
They
guard?
got Jordan.
They
They,
do
got
have a lot of
DeMar.
They have like
Okay.
15 guards. Man.
Okay, I'm two for 8. See, I set the spread at 2.5. This is good. I need to get
Okay.
one of these last 2.
All right, I'll go a little bit easier, but I won't go into the Kai Jones level. Let's go with James Wiseman.
James
Bro, come
Wiseman.
on. Yo, you have to know this, man.
James Wiseman.
You
Who was
have
he
to
on?
know this.
Who was he on last year? Detroit.
Detroit, and they got traded.
So he's moved on from Detroit.
Did he get traded
Or
or did
no?
he just sign as a free agent?
He might have
So-
just got cut. Yeah.
James Wiseman is on another team now.
Yeah. Come on. Use me for hints, bro. Come on, man.
Well, what hint could you possibly give me?
The hint is it's not the Pistons anymore.
You know what?
Okay,
I'll
give me East or give me East or West. Give me East or West. Give me East or West.
He's in the East, but this doesn't help you.
Okay.
No? Okay, hold on.
That helps him. It's half the teams.
Okay, but he's not going to get this. But
James
I'll give you a good hint. How about this? A good hint.
Okay.
He replaced the spot of someone else that's already been guessed on this game so far.
That is a good hint.
Oh my God. Who did he replace, man? Mo Bamba? Philly.
No!
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 Indiana Pacers, man.
Jalen
He's
Smith
on the Pacers?
Yes.
Oh, he replaced Jalen Smith. Wow, that's fun. Fun fact.
I will say I don't like the
tried,
fit
man.
on the Pacers at all. Like I do feel like it's weird that he's on the Pacers, but he is in fact on the Pacers.
Okay,
Yeah.
two for 9. I
Anyhow.
need this to hit the over.
All right.
We should have live betting on this right now as people are
Goodness, man.
watching.
This is going to be the best player that I've mentioned so far, I would say. Sadiq Bey.
So Sadiq Bey was on Atlanta. He got hurt and then they didn't sign him, right? This is his story.
Mm-hmm.
Like he got
This is his Joker
I'm
origin
going to
story.
say as little as possible about this. I do again. I think this is by far the best player that I've mentioned. He signed a 3-year deal, like an actual free agent contract.
Sadiq Bey. I'm gonna go with the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh,
No.
the Wizards of Washington.
Oh my God, I was thinking Washington, man. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
thinking Washington on every player. God damn. Okay,
That's
2
pretty
for
good, though. 2 for 10.
2 for 10. I got Steve Mihailuk and Corey
He did get
Joseph.
Steve.
Those. So they have to. Yeah, it has to be former Raptors to be in the orbit or Canadians.
Yo, okay, Alex, I'll give you one bonus one to potentially hit your over.
Okay,
I'll
bonus.
give you a
This is
second
for
chance
5
here.
points.
This is for 5 points, all right?
Okay,
You win the
okay.
game if you get this one.
Okay.
Patty Mills.
He's on my list too.
Patty Mills. Patty Mills was on Atlanta last year, right? Or Brooklyn? I can't
He
remember.
was
There's
on
no way
Atlanta, but
you'll
he
get
ended
this,
he
dog.
ended the season on a playoff team, right? Wasn't he on he was on the Heat at the end of the season, but he started.
He
on
was
a-
on the Heat. Yeah, yeah.
he was
But didn't
on the
play,
Heat.
yeah.
Patty Mills.
I'll give you 3 guesses, man. There's no way you'll get this. I
Patty
swear.
Mills is
I
probably
think he'll get it in 3. I think he'll get it.
Really?
probably mentoring somebody. Is he man. Is he in Portland?
No, that's a good
No.
guess though. But no, he did not go back to Portland.
All right, where is he?
There's like
No, we'll give me 2 more guesses, man.
2 more
Come on,
guesses.
man.
He's on Philly.
Yo, stop saying they're on Philly, man.
not,
I know more. He
on
went
Philly,
shopping
bro.
this summer, man.
No, man.
Okay, last one. Clippers.
no.
Oh my God,
He
where was he
went-
on?
He rejoined his buddy Will Hardy in Utah.
In Utah? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yo,
right.
you must really not want to retire if you want to just go play in Utah and
Oh,
not play,
man.
man. That's crazy.
Man, no, that was that was
Yeah, fine.
par for the course, man. Two.
Can
2
I
out
do
of
one
10.
bonus one as well?
Bonus?
Because this is like if you've been
Lucy.
paying attention, just like news alerts in the past couple of days, you'll know about this.
Yeah, I only follow the NBA on Twitter, so I'll probably get this.
Doug McDermott.
Oh my God,
He just signed.
Doug McDermott just
Just
signed
He just signed.
to what? Bumble? Doug
Yes.
Doug McDermott is with the Houston Rockets.
The Kings. Sorry.
The Kings again? How much offense do you need? There's
man.
only one ball, guys.
They took a big
Oh.
step back on offense last year. They got to get back up to number 1. They got to be one of
Oh
the best
my
in
God.
history.
Well,
man.
damn, that was super fun as always. We got to do this in season as well, and that's gonna be super fun. James, where can people find all your work and follow you?
CBSSports.com in the NBA section, and I don't tweet a hell of a lot anymore, but it's at outside
Mm.
the NBA on Twitter.
None of us do, man. None of us do. Pour one out for Raptors Twitter, basketball Twitter, just Twitter in general, man. It's tough, man. Unless I want to get every Dragon Ball Z clip ever in the For You tab, it's not worth using that app anymore. Except when you want to follow Hello Welcome Pod, because you'll see lots of great social videos from Jerome, lots of great practice footage. When I go down to practice ardently, I'll probably be down there on Monday just for the
Ardently swelling over here.
Oh man! I'm
All right,
down there.
James, appreciate you. We're gonna kick you out, and then Will and I are gonna wrap up.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been super fun. Always love just seeing you get who we play for guys wrong. It brightens up my day.
Love you, bro. Go have some Fini pizza.
Oh, hell yeah.
We want to take this break in the podcast to let you know that we are partnering with Tangerine for this season. For people who aren't familiar, Tangerine is the official bank of the Toronto Raptors and its fans, and Tangerine is a foundational partner of NBA Canada and WNBA Canada. Tangerine is focused on growing the game of basketball in the country from the grassroots level all the way up to the pros, and where you will find a court, you will likely find Tangerine. And that's the mission that really resonated with us, because we also share the same goal of growing the game of basketball here in Canada. What you need to know about Tangerine is that they are about forward banking. That means no unfair fees, no overly complicated products, no expensive brick and mortar branches. And if you want to learn more about Tangerine, go to tangerine.ca. Welcome back to the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. That was a great conversation with our friend James Herbert. He's going to I feel like year 12 now, at least at CBS Sports, but he's almost in that Twyman-Stokes award range. But yeah, it was always great to hear from him. It's got me really excited to watch this season. Raptors debut tonight against the Cavs. No Max Strus. Alex Wong, what else is on your mind, man, besides Raptors Cavs?
Yeah, I was thinking about some of the award predictions that we made, and I really like James's pick of Donte DiVincenzo for Sixth Man of the Year. I think being on the Timberwolves and getting an opportunity to play a lot of minutes, play a huge role on a winning team. So right now he is 10-1 on Betway. If you hit the QR code here below, check out the betting odds on Betway. 10-1 to win Sixth Man of the Year. Malik Monk is actually the favorite. But what do you think about Donte DiVincenzo's chances for Sixth Man?
Yeah, I was actually really surprised that Malik is actually number one sixth man, because he's certainly been one of the best Sixth Man of the Year contributors for Sacramento. But I like it. I think Donte is, as James outlined, he's going to be in the rotation quite a bit. I think Minnesota very much needs shooting. They have a lot of defense first wings, but offensively they just felt a little bit short. I think that's part of the reason why they insisted on getting Donte in that blockbuster trade involving Karl-Anthony Towns and Julius Randle. So yeah, I really like this, and I think the odds are, pretty, favorable here. So I like this.
Yeah, make sure you check out Betway for all your basketball betting. And before we wrap up, a couple of things. Just want to let people know that we are making plans to have a live event / watch party at Greta on November 12th. So
it's finally come. That time is going to come.
Yeah,
we've been play Papa Shot with fans.
We've been talking about Greta so much. Our favorite arcade bar, favorite hangout in the city, and I think people have been coming up to us, telling us how great the watch party was for the Olympics, and wanting to know if we're going to do other stuff during the season. We do want to make sure that we make space for that. To be able to interact with our fans. Once again, you're not fans, you're friends, and we're super excited to do it at Greta. I think that's the go-to spot for pregame, for watching the game, for postgame. So we'll probably have plans. Don't know if I told you yet, to have a live postgame show there as well. So
no problem. Greta's got that handle.
Yeah, November 12th, man. So make sure we'll have more details soon on the show, but make sure you save the date on that.
That's right. Greta Bar, YYZ, King in Portland. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah. And lastly, just want to give a quick shout out to Casey Bannerman. I think people in the Raptor space know Casey. He's done these incredible jerseys, not just for the Raptors, in the Olympics, he did a bunch of cool jerseys for not just Team Canada, but other different teams as well. He's reimagined
a lot of good WNBA.
Yeah, he's reimagined the WNBA. He's done other sports as well. So you can go to CaseyBannerman.com right now. He just released a limited edition Paw Wanto basketball jersey, which are designed specifically for dogs. So it blends the Raptors' iconic throwback jersey style with Scotty's signature number, because we know Scotty shares photos of his two dogs on his social media a lot. And, this release is being supported by Scotty as well. He's a fan of this. He's not a fan. He's a friend. And a portion of these proceeds will be donated to the Toronto Humane society. So once again, go check out caseybannerman.com and check that out. Maybe we gotta get one for you too, Will. I know you have 1 cat, 2 cats, 3 cats. Maybe we can get some
3
cat jerseys. Yeah,
3 cats. You know what? There isn't
this
cat
guy's the
merch,
big
and-
meow.
I am the big meow, man. No, I mean, first off, I think this is an awesome initiative. Shouts to Casey for doing this. The designs look really great. And I know it's obviously winter coming up for your dogs who have to leave the house every day to use the washroom multiple times, which could not relate as a cat owner. But yeah, I mean, it would be kind of cool to sort of dress up my cats. I wouldn't think of doing that for Halloween anyway. So yeah, this actually would be a cool Halloween thing to do too, you know?
Yeah,
Like-
slap a Gollum mask on all 3 of your cats.
Oh,
and take a
that's
photo.
That's horrifying, but I might put a Paul Wanto on here.
Yeah, so
the
yeah,
name
make
of
sure go to caseybannerman.com. All right, that's it, man. Another great episode in the books. You know,
Yep.
shouts to Jerome, shouts to James, shouts to Will, shouts to myself, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this has been the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway.